Good morning. My name is Marsha Jacoby, and today I'll be talking about the information processing approach to learning. So, this approach to learning emphasizes that children manipulate information. They monitor it and strategize about it. And the critical processes that are going on in this process are attention, the ability to stay focused and have the ability to absorb the information, memory. Over time, hopefully the information will be encoded. And thinking. Hopefully they're always thinking about what they're doing and the process that they're going through. And as children grow and develop, their capacity for processing that information will allow them to acquire increasingly complex knowledge and skills. So let's talk a little bit more about the process. Metacognition is knowing about knowing. It's being aware of the strategies. And according to Presley and Harris, the key to education is helping students learn a rich repertoire of strategies that produce solutions or problems. How did they get there? Good thinkers routinely use strategies and effective planning to solve problems. They also know when and where to use strategies because they're able to monitor the learning situation. So we're going to examine metacognition more and talk about how teachers can educate their students to promote metacognition. First, teachers will hopefully model these strategies first, and very specifically, they will list all steps that the student has to follow, doing it very succinctly, very clearly. They'll have students practice this strategy. Of course, they'll guide them and support them in doing so. They'll have students solve problems using a specific strategy. And then they'll have students do it independently on their own to see how they do and if they were able to copy those steps. They'll make it relevant by telling students how the strategy will be beneficial. And they'll encourage students to monitor the effectiveness of the strategy and ask them to compare it to others that they've used to see what works and what's more easy to follow. So some strategies might include writing outlines, concept maps, taking notes in an effective way so that you can use them to study. Maybe they'll even create practice tests and do that with a partner so that they can test each other. In order to improve memory, a teacher might use rhymes or teach a student how to use mnemonics, such as Holmes for the Great Lakes, which has 5 different lakes and is hard to remember. Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Lake Superior in the word Holmes. Acronyms, so that they can remember words or phrases and keywords as well that help them think about the next concept. So teachers can elevate their students' processing of information by using certain techniques in the classroom. First, repetition. Some students need a tremendous amount of repetition before they can encode information. Gamification, allowing students to solve problems by playing games, perhaps learn addition by playing a board game that forces them to add numbers. Visualization, using peer mentors in the classroom so that students can tell each other about a concept, maybe saying it a little bit differently than the teacher would have. And finally, emphasizing relevance. If you can make it relevant to the student or relate it to something they're familiar with, they're more likely to understand that concept. So metacognition includes awareness. That's a great component. A student is now aware of what needs to be done to achieve. As they get older, if the results aren't positive, they can discern what should be done better the next time. Should they have studied more? Should they have read the textbook in full? Perhaps they only read a part of it. So they can go back, think, and analyze. They could also use checklists to think about all the steps they took, but hopefully they're aware of the process and how they can improve going forward. Finally, these are questions they can ask themselves. What should I do first? Is there anything that's confusing? Could I explain what I've learned, and should I ask for extra help? So students will hopefully look to do better the next time. These questions will help students to make improvements. So thank you for your time today.